Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video I'm really excited to do. It is going to be all about this new collection from Charlotte Tilbury. So she recently came out with new eyeshadow quads, new liner duos, a few new products for the eyes, and I did get this collection sent over to me in PR, which I was very excited for. I've gotten a few things from the brand in the past, but not usually everything, and I really didn't think this collection would be coming, but I was really excited to receive it. So what I'm going to be doing today is talking a little bit more in depth about each palette. I'm going to swatch each one, and I'm also going to do a look with each of the palettes also. So 4 different looks for today's video. So I'm really excited about this. This video is not sponsored, but definitely a big thank you to Charlotte Tilbury for sending this along. It was a lot of fun to play with each of the palettes and the new liners and come up with some different looks. So why don't we go ahead and jump into it. Alright, so first I'm going to chat a little bit more about each palette, show you an up-close shot of each one, do the different swatches, and then we will finish off doing a look with each of these 4 palettes. So I was really excited to get this. A lot of you might know I kind of like jokingly say that I'm friends with, you know, Charlotte Tilbury and Pat McGrath and Natasha Denona, but I think I'm speaking it into existence, okay? I think I am just putting it out there and speaking it into existence because I was really excited when I got this package. All right, I was pretty pumped up about that. So big thank you again to the brand for sending this over, and a lot of people seemed really excited about it, so that's when I thought it could be a good idea to do a look with each of the palettes to see if there's any that you guys feel like you would want to grab, if there's 1 or 2 that you would want to pick up, maybe what would work best for your eye color, because these are all about enhancing different eye colors. So these are called the Eye Color Magic Luxury Palettes, and then there's also the liner duos, and you can purchase them in kits. These are available now on the Charlotte Tilbury website. I do see that they're limited edition, which is kind of a bummer. Some of the collections do look to be out of stock, but each of the 4 quads are available now. It looks like the eyeliners I think are out of stock too. Some of the liquid liners that she came out with are available, but some of the duos are not. The eyeliner duos run for $30. A kit includes the quad, the double liner, and then also a mascara, and those are $113 for when they come back in stock. But again, all the quads are available now, so I will definitely have these linked down below. So reading a little bit from the Charlotte Tilbury website, it says, create the illusion of sparkling, brighter looking eyes with contrasting and harmonious hues for every eye color, inspired by color matching artistry and eye color magic. Make blue eyes look bluer, hazel eyes look gold, green eyes look greener, and brown eyes look amber with these eye enhancing icons. So first up, I had to jump into the mesmerizing maroon quad. This is supposed to make green eyes look greener. I do have green eyes and I love wearing these types of tones. So this was the first one that I reached for. So how the Charlotte Tilbury quads are laid out on the back, they do say prime, then we have enhance, then we have smoke, and then we have pop. Have the matte shade, we have 2 shimmer shades, and this one is more of like more of a metallic, almost just like a little bit more glittery shade. So this one says eyeshadow palette with rich purple, plum, and maroon shades. Quad does also have a mirror and, you know, 4 shades. I like that it's just a small little compact here. And then the duo liner that goes with this collection, each one has a matte and shimmer side. That one is the mesmerizing maroon, the first one, the one that kind of spoke to me the most out of all 4. Next up, I used the green lights palette. This is supposed to enhance hazel eyes and make them look a little bit more gold. I don't wear green a lot, but in my Will I Buy It video when I discussed this collection, I said for whatever reason the greens in here are just calling to me. I think I don't like more of like bright greens, but something about either like khaki or olive tones, I tend to really like them. So this palette is also known as the Rebel according to the website. It says the hypnotic gold, olive, and khaki green hues in this eye enhancing palette dial up hazel eyes and make them pop. This one here doesn't have any matte shades, so the mesmerizing maroon did have that matte shade. These are all either shimmer or more metallic shades in here, which I thought was interesting. But honestly, I really liked the eye look. I'm excited for you to see it. I got a lot of compliments when I was on Instagram stories chatting. A lot of people asked me what my eyeshadow was from, and I was really pretty excited for this one. Again, I do have green eyes, and I feel like sometimes green on green just doesn't really look the best, but something about these tones, and especially having that gold in there, I really did think just made the whole look pop, which I thought was really pretty. So I was a big fan of this one. And then again with the duo liner, we have the same thing. You have a matte and shimmer side in these green colors as well to go along with the Green Lights quad. Next up, I tried out the Super Blue palette. Again, blue is not a color that I wear a ton. I'm a little bit intimidated by blue, but this one says the dreamy champagne, gold, and navy and sapphire blue hues in this eye enhancing palette light the flame in brown eyes, making them pop and sparkle from a lit from within amber effect. So this is the one that is good for brown eyes. It is complementary with the blue. And this one, the deeper navy, this one is a matte shade, and this sparkly blue, not glue, blue is definitely more glittery, I thought. And then you have the two shimmers on top as well, so this is more of like your glitter metallic shade. But honestly, out of all of the quads, I feel like this one is the most glittery. It really added quite an intense pop to the eyes that you will see in the demo that is coming with the Super Blue. And then once again, the liner duo has the matte and shimmer side, again kind of like a deeper navy for the matte, and then more of a shimmery blue for the metallic side of the liner. Lastly, I tried out the Copper Charge palette. This one is good for blue eyes. So it says the mesmerizing gold, rose copper, and russet brown hues in this eye enhancing palette play with the light to make blue eyes pop and brown eyes glow. So blue and brown eyes. Honestly, I like these tones a lot for green eyes, so it was the one that I wanted to end on. I kind of did the two in the middle that I wasn't too sure if I would get along with them well. So I like them for green eyes too. I just think these kind of like brown and bronzy tones and golds, I think they can look really flattering on a lot of different eye colors in my opinion. But in this one you do have a matte brown, and then you do also have two shimmers up here, and this one is more of your metallic shade. This one's definitely not as glittery as like the one in the blue. It is more of just like a really smooth metallic shade in here. The liner duo is the same as they have been. You have the matte side on one and then the more metallic shimmer side on the other. So those are some swatches and a little bit more about each of the quads. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the tutorials now with each of the different palettes, and then I will wrap it up at the end to talk about which ones are my favorite, if I think that these are worth it. And I do want to say that the first demo with the Maroon palette is going to be a voiceover. I filmed that for Instagram and totally spaced that I would also be doing a YouTube video with each, so I just have the voiceover to that one, and then the other three I am on camera kind of talking through each of the steps also, so wanted to let you know. But I hope that you enjoyed those, and then I'll come back for my final thoughts at the end.
Alright, jumping into the mesmerizing Maroon palette, I am first picking up the Enhance shade, and I'm placing that all over the lid, kind of focusing it on the center part of the lid, and then using the matte shade, I am placing that one on the outer part of the eye, running it through the crease, then going into the smoke shade, more of that metallic, which is super beautiful. I'm just using my finger for this one, and I am placing it on the center of my lid to kind of really make it pop there. And then coming in with a smaller brush, and I'm using that first prime shade. I'm going to use it as an inner corner highlight, and then also to hit right at the inner part of my eye as well. This is where I'm coming into the Feline Flick liquid liner and making a wing, and then using the matte side first to line my waterline, and then the metallic side for the inner part of the eye. And then again, just using the matte shade to smoke out the lower lash line. I added some lashes to this look as well, and then I am using the Charlotte Tilbury Pillowtalk lip liner to line my lips, and then filling them in with the Very Victoria lipstick from Charlotte Tilbury, and that completes this look with the mesmerizing Maroon palette.
Next up, going into the green palette, or the Green Lights palette. So these are the different shades that we have in here. So this is supposed to be good for hazel eyes, make hazel eyes pop, make hazel eyes look a little bit more gold. I have the Green Lights palette, and then I also do have the double-ended eyeliner. So we have the matte green on one side and then the metallic green lights on the other. So I saw on the Charlotte Tilbury Instagram that they did a look with the green palette and the green pencil, and they actually came in first and did a like a winged liner using the matte side of the pencil. So that is what I went ahead and did. You can see that I've practiced on this eye already, so this is like our final outcome that we're trying to get. I didn't follow it like step by step, but I like kind of just like took my inspiration from it, and I thought it was interesting to do the liner first. Normally if I do a liner, it comes after the eyeshadows, and I noticed after I had all the shadows I did have to come back with the liner to make it like known again. But I'm just gonna do it the same way because, like, knowing me, if I do it a different way, who knows what will happen. So first I'm just going to sketch a line all the way across my eyelid, and then I also am going to come out and do just like a little wing too. Nothing too wild and crazy. And again, I'm being kind of not super precise with this one because it is probably going to get covered by shadows and kind of blended a little bit, so I'll have to come back at the end to bring it back to focus. I'm also going to use the matte side. I'm going to put some on my waterline. I'm also going to run some just on the lower lash line, and then I'm going to smudge it out with an eyeshadow. And then I'm going to take the metallic side as well and just kind of do the same thing on the waterline and then the lower lash line. I'm going to bring the metallic side a little bit in closer to the tear duct part of the eye, just because it's like a little lighter metallic over there. And then going into the palette, I'm just going to pick up the Pop shade down here, and I'm using the Sigma Buff and Blend E39. And I am just going to place that in the center part of the eye and then just kind of run it around. I mean, I'm putting it like in my crease. I'm just kind of popping it a little bit everywhere, going over that liner. This is from Colourpop. This is the E1, and coming into the Enhance shade. And I'm going to put that on the outer part of the eye and then kind of run it through the crease. Then taking a small Stilazzi brush, this is the Smudge L208, and I'm going to pick up the more gold shade, which is the Prime. And I am going to put this more towards the inner part of the eye, hitting the like more towards the inner corner and coming like just about halfway and just kind of tapping it all over to bring a little bit of gold to the look. I'm getting some fallout too. I'm using everything dry. I haven't used a damp brush for anything, so I'm just going to take a brush and kind of wipe away any of that extra fallout. And on the lower lash line to smudge out the liners, this is a Wayne Goss 05 pencil brush, and I'm going to use the last shade that we haven't used yet, and I'm just going to smudge that along the lower lash line. This shade really adds some drama to the look for sure. You can probably see that a lot of that line, like it's still very faint this side compared to this side. So I'm just coming back in with the liner, and I'm again just going to make that line across my eyes and then deepen out this wing a little bit too, so it's just a little bit more prominent. Then from there, I'm just adding my CoverGirl Exhibitionist Mascara to my top and bottom lashes. I just want to add a little bit of gloss to the lips. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Pillowtalk Collagen Lip Bath. After that, that is my look with the green palette from Charlotte Tilbury. Really fast and easy, even working with some of these darker colors. I mean, it was like boom, 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 real simple to get done. So that is my look with the green palette. Hello. Okay, we are moving on. We are moving over to the blue palette. This is super blue, so I'm going to be using a little bit of this palette, and then I'm also going to be using the duo liner here. This has the matte side and the shimmer side to it as well. I thought this palette was interesting because you have the two blues, but then you also have kind of more of like a coppery bronze and then like a lighter gold. So it kind of gives you a little bit more variety than I'm thinking like the green palette, also the maroon palette. It's not a total blue palette, if you will. So I decided today to do a little bit more of a halo eye because I wanted to focus on the blues. You know, my first thought was like putting these two on the lid and then a pop of blue on the lower lash line, which I love. I love that look. I do it all the time. It's a fun way to work color in, is to do something on the lower lash line, but I decided to like flip it and that's what we're going to do today. So starting off, I'm going to take the matte blue and I'm going to use the Sigma Firm Blender, the E44, and I'm going to put this on the outer part of my eye, and then I'm also going to tap it onto the inner part. I like halo eyes because I think that they're really fast and easy to do, but also using, what I've noticed using the quads is that if you are someone who is a fan of like quick looks, I feel like that's kind of what you get from the quads. I'm thinking even especially like my green look, that was so fast and easy to do, but it was really fun and I got a lot of compliments on it, and I actually ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I was originally going to. But I'm someone who I like quick and easy looks. I'm a fan of that. I feel like I'm always in a hurry, and there's times where I like to sit down and like really play with makeup and get creative, but also a lot of times I feel like I don't have time, which is sad. Okay, I'm gonna pick up the Karity E25. This is just like a small shader brush, and I'm gonna pick up the blue in here. It's really pretty. It's more of like more of a glittery shade, and I'm going to tap this right in the center part of the lid and just kind of tap around that matte shade. And I am using a dry brush with this. I get just a little bit of fallout in this one. I feel like with the green one I got more, so just a little bit here. So you could spray your brush if you wanted to, but I honestly, like pigment wise, I don't think you need to. It's pretty popping on its own. And then with halo eyes, I just kind of go back and I add some of the matte, or like some of the inner outer, sometimes it's shimmer too. So I add some of that, add some of the center shade back in until I am happy with it. And then I'm just gonna also make sure that that look is looking blended. And then using the liner, I'm just gonna use the matte side of the liner for this look, and I'm just gonna add a little bit to my waterline. Again, I think this would be nice to do with like a more neutral eye on top and then the pop of blue at the bottom, but I wanted to like try to mix it up a little bit. Honestly, don't know if I totally love it, but you know, it's makeup. I'm gonna wash it off. I don't even want to tell you how much dry shampoo I have in my hair right now. And I'm just gonna use a pencil brush. This is the Sigma E30, and I am going to grab the more kind of like copper bronzy shade and smudge that on the lower lash line. And then I'm just going to take the same brush and I'm going to grab some of that lighter gold, and I'm also going to place that on the lower lash line a little bit closer to the inner corner, and then pop it right on the inner corner also. I'm just adding mascara. This is from Ciate London, the Wonder Wand mascara. So I'm going to add this to the top and bottom lashes. Alright, so I just finished off the rest of my face to pull the whole look together. I was actually doing an Instagram live, get ready with me, with Ofra Cosmetics, and I was using my collection with them. So on my lips I have a combination of Story, the liquid lipstick, and then Millie, the gloss. So that is how I finished off this makeup look here. I've talked about this before, about how sometimes when I do my eyes first, I tend to like not be loving the look because I'm not a very visual person up here. Like I have to really see it to make it all come together, and I wasn't really feeling the look, but I feel like I like it more now that I have everything finished off. I have my bronzer and my blush on and my highlight and of course my lips and everything. I feel like I am liking it a little bit more at this point, which is good. So this is the final look using the Super Blue palette. to let me know what you think if you grab this one, and let's go ahead and move over to the next look. Okay, we are back for the fourth and final look. I'm going to be using the Copper Charge palette. So this is the palette that is supposed to enhance blue eyes. Looking at this one, I really thought that I would like it. It's kind of why I wanted to end on it. I wear a lot of bronzy tones. I do wear a lot of browns. So looking at this one, I was like, oh yeah, I think I'm gonna be a big fan here. So I'm going to be using the quad and then also the double liner as well. Again, you have the matte and the shimmer liner on here. So first, going into the palette, I'm gonna pick up the matte brown shade, and I'm using the Rephr P07, I think is my brush from Rephr, and I'm going to focus that on the outer edge of my eye, kind of making a little V shape out here, and then kind of like flicking the shadow on the outer part and kind of running it on the top lash line. I'm going to use the Sigma Medium Sweep E54, and I'm going to come into the lightest shade, which is kind of like this light gold shimmer, and I am going to run that all over the lid and kind of tap it where it meets the matte shade. And I am using a dry brush. I haven't used any damp brushes with any of the quads, and I feel like, I mean, there's just no issue there. And that's just one, like all I need is one pass of that. Just like do, boom, that's it. Doesn't need any more building up. It's fine. And then I'm going to grab the Sigma Firm blender, the E44, and I'm going to come into the next shade, which is this more deeper bronze. And I'm going to pat this kind of like in the middle of like where the matte and then that lighter shimmer is. And just kind of patting this one on. I'm going to take a little bit more of the matte brown and just add a little bit more to the outer part of the eye, and then add just a little bit more of that shimmer color too. And I mean, you can do this as many times as you need until you get it to where you want it. And I'm just going to use my finger in the more, this one's not like super glittery, I would say. I'm just going to use my finger with this one and just tap it on the middle and kind of inner part of the eye. And I didn't think this one made as big of a difference as some of the other ones have in the quads, but I feel like it definitely just kind of gives more of that wet eyeshadow look. So if that's something that you're into, you could like that shade. For the lower lash line, I'm going to do a little bit of the matte brown and then also the more bronzy shimmer. So first, just going to do the matte brown with the Rephr brush, and then I'm going to add in a little bit of the bronze shimmer also, and just kind of smoke those two out together. The liner, I'm going to use the matte side and I'll put that into my waterline, and then I'm going to use the shimmer side and focus this on the lower lash line, really close to the inner corner and tear duct area. I'm going to use, I forgot that light gold, the first one here. And that is going to be the inner corner highlight for this look. Then, to be honest, I actually liked how this was looking before I did the liner on this side. I liked it without the top wing. I think if I just would have added mascara, I would have been happy with it. But I am going to do a line on the top lashes as well with the matte side. For mascara, I'm going to add the Too Faced Damn Girl to my top and bottom lashes. That is it for the eyes. For my lip combo, I'm going to do the Pillowtalk 2 medium shade in the Charlotte Tilbury lip liner, and then also the Pillowtalk Lip Lustre. I'm going to add that on top. So it's just a little bit deeper shade for the Pillowtalk lip liner. and then I'm going to add the lip luster on top. Right, after my lip combo, this is the finished look using the copper palette. I do like it. I think that I will like this palette because these are the shades that I use a lot. Again, I'm not a fan of the liner. I'm not really good at doing wing liner with pencils like that. I'm normally better with like liquid liners and that sort of thing. But you know, gave it my shot, and I like the color of it. Like I really do like the shade of it. I just don't know if I love the wing on me, but this is the fourth and final look using these quads from Charlotte Tilbury. I hope that you enjoyed seeing a look with each of the 4 palettes. Definitely let me know which one was your favorite, and I wanted to come back to give my final thoughts on all of the palettes, which ones were my favorite and if I would recommend them. So I'll start off by saying that I do think that $53 for 4 shades is pretty pricey, and I don't think that everyone needs to run out and grab these palettes. Again, I know that we're going through a really hard time right now, but as my job, as a makeup reviewer, as a YouTuber, this is what I do, and I know a lot of people still have expressed a lot of interest in these, but I will say, and it's kind of what I've said from the beginning, from trying out these Charlotte Tilbury quads, is that I do think that they're pretty pricey. If you're someone who is really into luxury and high-end makeup, I think that you would probably get along with these. One thing that I do like the quads for, that I've noticed since trying all 4 of these, you know, kind of like back to back days, is that I think that they're good for someone who likes those like quick and easy makeup looks, but that it almost looks a little bit more, like it looks like you put more time into them than it takes to do your eyeshadow with these. And for me, I like that. I would say, since not, you know, some of them come with 1 matte, some are all 4 shimmers, some have more of like glittery shades in there. It's just going to depend on your preferences. If you have one that you really like the color scheme, but you're like, oh no, I really need at least 1 matte in an eyeshadow quad. I mean, again, it's just something to be aware of. But again, kind of final thoughts is, do I think everybody needs these and these are like the most magical things I've ever tried? I mean, to be honest, no. I think that they're really nice and I think that they're good. I'm glad that I have these and I'm excited to continue to keep playing with them, some more than the other. But again, I think that it's kind of a higher price tag. So that's just my honest opinion there. But when it comes to the 4 of these, I was actually kind of surprised because I kind of had chosen my favorites before I even tried them. I thought I knew what I was going to enjoy the most, and I have to say that my 2 favorites are the Mesmerizing Maroons, but then also the Green Lights. I was really surprised at how much I liked the Green Lights palette. I don't wear green a lot, but something about these shades, they were so easy to work with. They were so fun to use. I almost kind of like that all 4 are shimmer shades. It just kind of, I feel like there's just so many, there's only 4 shades, but I feel like there's a lot that I can like mix and match and create different looks and maybe do some halo eyes or just all shimmer looks. I think are really beautiful. I've been getting more and more into putting shimmers like way up into my crease and being like, whatever, I don't care. And with the Green Lights, I just, again, I know it says like this one is good for the hazel eyes, but I think it looked really pretty on green eyes too. So I was really a fan of this one. I also really did like the Mesmerizing Maroon. This is one that I figured that I would really get on with, and I really did like it. I liked that you do have the matte shade in there too. I thought the shimmers were really pretty in there also, but I don't know, I almost kind of like Green Lights the most, which is kind of shocking. I think I would wear Mesmerizing Maroons more on like a day-to-day type of basis, but honestly this one is super fun. To say too that I think that the green liner was also really cool. I don't have a lot of green eyeliners in my collection, and I don't normally do the green on top like I did with this one, but wow, that really seemed to like just enhance it too. So this one I was really happy with, and I was really surprised at it. So I just wanted to mention that I felt like the green liner really added something to the look too. So those are my 2 favorites. I would say that my least favorite out of all of them is the Super Blue. Again, I don't wear blues a ton. It's not the shade that I'm reaching for the most often. And I thought the matte blue in here, kind of that more navy blue, I thought it looked a little bit patchy on my eyes, to be honest. So, you know, if you say that in the comments, I totally won't be offended because I kind of thought the same. I just didn't really love it. I did an Instagram live with the eye look, and a lot of people were complimenting it and saying that you thought it was pretty, and I was like, yeah, you know, I just don't know. That glittery shade is really beautiful. I think it can be a nice quad to use the two more neutral shades on top and then do the pop of blue on the lower lash line, but it's like, do you need the $53 quad to do that, or are you able to do that with maybe some of your other palettes or singles or things like that? Again, if you love blues and like that's like what you wear and that's your favorite thing, you might like it, but again, you also only get two blue shades out of here, and then you have the two more neutral kind of like gold bronzy shades. So again, up to you, but I would say that this one is probably my least favorite. And then the Copper Charge, which is what I have on my eyes right now. I liked this one. I thought I was going to like it even more. I thought this one in Mesmerizing Maroons was actually going to be my favorite, but I like it. This one, to me, I can see being kind of like that everyday palette if I'm in a rush. It'd be really easy to put the matte brown all over and then a little bit of the shimmer. So I do like it, but in terms of all four, I mean, I really have to say that Green Lights was really up there for me. So and for me too, you know, I was saying that I do think the 53 is expensive. I've said that from the beginning, and I'm not going to change my stance on that just because I've gotten something in PR and because I have white nights with Charlotte. You know, it's like, you still got to be honest, okay? But honestly, the Green Lights for me, I think out of all of these would be the one that really would be worth it, because I don't have a lot of green in my collection because it's not a favorite shade of mine. So I don't have a lot of like really green toned palettes or like green singles or anything like that. So this one to me is, it kind of adds a uniqueness to my collection, and because I ended up really liking all four shades and I can wear all four shades at once, this is the one. I mean, this is like my standout to me, quite honestly, and I'm super surprised at that. But again, I would say, you know, if you're really thinking about these, maybe looking at your collection and seeing, is there one that you think would be more unique to your collection or add a value there? I don't know, I'm just trying to help you out, just throwing a few things at you, but you get to do what you want to do. I mean, it's your money, it's your makeup collection. I'm just letting you know what I think about the four quads, okay? That's something I'll say there. And I think one good thing about the quads too, and maybe if you're really interested in them, but you're like, you know, I'm still not sure with the price tag, a good thing, like a pro that I can see about quads, is that in my ones that are my favorites, I'll use all four shades. You know, sometimes you can spend less money and get a bigger palette, but you ignore the other shades. So, you know, there's maybe 2 or even 3 shades in a 12 pan, a 15 pan, a 20 pan palette. So maybe you've paid less, but you're only using, you know, 5 or 6 core shades out of the palette. Well, then price wise, might actually balance out. Again, food for thought there. Do what you will with it. So I really like that, you know, especially out of these two palettes, I'm going to use all 4 shades when I go into them. The blue, probably not the blues as much. The copper, I mean, I would definitely use all 4 shades in here too. I just have to give it to the standouts, which is the Mesmerizing Maroon and the Green Lights. So those are my thoughts on the eyeshadow quads. I hope some of what I said makes sense or resonates or helps you out or anything like that. For the liner duos, again, it's probably going to depend on you. I know eyeliner isn't like the sexiest makeup release ever. I do like that they're duos. I really took a liking to putting the shimmer more towards the inner part of my eye. I did that in a couple of the different looks with these palettes, and I thought that was really cool. But then I also like that I have the matte for either like the waterline, or again, you can do the wing or something like that. I thought that was kind of cool. So I think I'm going to play around with these more, especially like I said, I really did like the green one. I also really liked the maroon, but I'm someone who, I have a lot of eyeliners, but I don't have a ton of colored liners. I have a lot of like black and brown, I really have a lot of like green and blue and all of that. So I'm excited to have these, and I think it adds value that you get the 2 different shades. I think that helps. Instead of it just being one, you kind of mix and match and enhance looks or make certain looks pop with that. So that is the eyeliners. And then I did also try out the Feline Flick eyeliner. So this is the liquid liner in Panther. This is a really nice eyeliner. I'm not the best with liquid liner. I'm not the best with wing liner, but if you can see this tip on here, like that is sharp. It is no joke, and it really was really easy to create the flick. So I can see myself really getting on with this one. Again, it's just going to depend. Are you a liquid liner girl? Do you do winged liner a lot? I mean, that's going to go into if you think that this would be you know, worth it to have in your collection. But if you are a big fan of these, I was actually really impressed. And it's just like, man, when you open it, it's just like, this can do some things, okay? So I did also want to share my thoughts on the Feline Flick eyeliner. But after that, I think that is everything that I have to say about these new eyeshadow quads from Charlotte Tilbury. I hope that you enjoyed seeing the different looks with them and the swatches and my thoughts. I would love to know if you picked any up, or if maybe you're planning to pick some up in the future, which one you think would be most interesting for you. Please do let me know. Thank you to everyone who wrote in when I shared like my unboxing of it, letting me know that you were really interested in this, because quite honestly, I didn't have this on my radar to do for my schedule, and it wasn't until I got so much of your feedback that I was like, oh, okay, perfect, great, I can do this. So thank you guys so much. It always helps me out. You can always let me know in the comments if there's anything that you want to see. Other than that, that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope that you also consider subscribing before you go, and I will see you in my next video.